Good morning, dear students. Myself is Sumit. Today we'll be doing the 8th chapter, Human Health and Disease. In today's lecture, we'll be talking on the diseases caused by helminth or helminthic diseases. In the previous lectures, we talk about the viral diseases, which include the polio, rabies, viral hepatitis, chikungunya, dengue fever, common cold, influenza, smallpox, chickenpox, mumps, rubella, etc. In the last lecture, we talk about the diseases caused by virus like chikungunya or the common cold, which is the most infectious disease, or the influenza or flu, which is caused by the influenza virus, orthomyxovirus, smallpox caused by the variola virus, chickenpox, which is also caused by the varicella zoster virus, mumps, which is caused by the paramyxovirus, and measles, which is known as khasra in Hindi, caused by the rubella virus. Rubella, which is the disease known as German measles, caused by the rubella virus. In today's lecture, we basically talk about the diseases caused by the helminth or worm. These diseases are caused by the main two worms known as flatworms and roundworms. These two worms are the endoparasitic worms, which are present inside the human body or usually in the small intestine. There are two phylums known as platyhelminthes and nematodes, or sometimes it is also known as Ascaris constitute the helminth. The platyhelminthes and nematodes constitutes the helminths or worm. These include the diseases like Taeniasis, cysticercosis, Ascariasis, and filariasis or elephantiasis. Ascariasis, etc. So let me first start with the disease known as Taeniasis. The pathogen of Taeniasis is a very common pathogen known as Taenia solium, which is known as tapeworm, or sometimes it is also known as pork tapeworm, as it is present within the pork. It also present within men, and it is present in the small intestine of the humans. The mode of infection, how could the disease is infectious into human, is by eating a measly pork. The meaning of measly is the pork. Pork तो आप जानते हैं सुअर का मीट है. Measly means the pork which contain the larvae of tapeworm. So the pork, when it is known as measly pork, it means it contains or it is contaminated with the larvae of the tapeworm. If we are talking about the life cycle of tapeworm, the life cycle of tapeworm is digenetic. Digenetic life cycle means the life cycle which is completed in two hosts. So there are two hosts, primary host and alternate or secondary host. The primary host in case of Taeniasis is men, and the secondary host is pig. Now, if we are talking about the body structure of Taenia solium, the body is divided into three basic parts, which is known as head, neck, and strobila. The apical part is head, which is also known as scolex, which is connected through a short neck, and the long tail-like part, flat part, is known as strobila. It is like the worm is like a flat worm, so it is also known as flatworm or leaf-like worm. If we are talking about the head region or scolex region, the scolex contain one anterior sucker which is present on the anterior side, like this type of structure is there. This is the anterior sucker, and these are 1 2 3 and 4. These are the four anterior suckers, sorry, four side suckers. So these are four side suckers, 1 2 3 and 4, and this one is the anterior sucker, and this region is known as scolex. This anterior sucker is known as rostylum, and it has two rows of chitinous made up of chitin hooks for attachment, chitinous hooks for attachment with the small intestine. These hooks or these rostylum has no role in feeding. This is only for attachment. Now, the second region is the neck. Neck is a very important region because from these neck, new proglottids are formed. The proglottids are found in the proglottids are found in the third region, which is the strobila, like this. And these half segments, they are not true segments. These segments are known as proglottids, and in each segment the male and female sex organs are present. This one is a protandrous worm. Protandrous means the male sex organs mature first, then the female sex organ. As we know that the worm is hermaphrodite, it means it has both male and female sex organs present within the same individual. Within each proglottid, male and female sex organs are present, but the male sex organ mature first, and when fertilization takes place or during the sexual reproduction, the male sex organ of one proglottid fused with the female sex organ of another proglottid of the same worm. So, if we are talking about the life cycle of Taenia solium, the fertilized egg, when the male sex organ and female sex organ came close to each other of different proglottids of the same individual, fertilization takes place and the fertilized egg is called zygote. The zygote develops into marula, and this marula is usually, ये जो मॉरूला है, ये अगर हम इस मॉरूला की बात करते हैं तो ये यूजुअली जो लास्ट सेगमेंट है उस पे इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, और उस लास्ट सेगमेंट पे these can develop 3 pairs of chitinous hooks, and this, when the morula develops 3 pairs of chitinous hooks, this morula is formed hexacanth larva. Hexacanth There are three pairs. Three pairs means 6. So hexacanth larva. So the larva of Taenia is known as hexacanth larva. The hexacanth larva is surrounded by a membrane, and then it is formed oncosphere larva. The process of apolysis takes place, and apolysis थ्रू apolysis की प्रोसेस में क्या होगा कि ये जो वॉल है टीनिया की उसको लाइसिस कर देंगे, डैमेज कर देंगे और बाहर निकल जाएंगे। और इसके थ्रू ये केम आउट फ्रॉम द एक्सक्रीटा, फिसिस के थ्रू या यूरिन के थ्रू, यूजुअली थ्रू द फिसिस, फिसिस के थ्रू ये ह्यूमन की बॉडी से बाहर आ जाएंगे। अब जैसा कि हमको पता है कि इस एक्सक्रीटा को, इस फिसिस को जनरली पिग्स जो हैं वो यूज़ कर लेते हैं, खा लेते हैं, और इसके थ्रू ये आ जाएंगे पिग में। पिग में ये जो इसकी हमने अभी देखा था कि इसके बाहर एक मेम्ब्रेन से सराउंडेड हो गए। दिस मेम्ब्रेन शुड डाइजेस्ट विद इन पिग and it is formed the another larva known as cysticerus larva। और ये cysticerus larva जो है ये पहुंच जाएगा इन द मसल्स ऑफ पिग। और जब इस पिग को ह्यूमंस यूज़ करेगा अपने फूड के लिए, या मीजली पोर्क जब वो खाएगा, तो यहाँ से फिर से किस पे आ जाएंगे, मैन पे। Now come to the next disease, which is known as Ascariasis. The causative agent of Ascariasis is Ascaris lumbricoides, which is commonly known as roundworm, which belongs to the phylum Helmenthes or Nematohelminthes. It is called roundworm because in cross section it seems round. It is a very long and thin worm which having the tapering ends on both the sides. Tapering ends means pointed ends. If you saw this worm, this one look like this, and there is tapering ends on both the sides. It is the largest intestinal nematode known. Again, the Ascaris lumbricoides is sexually dimorphic or unisexual. It means the male and female individuals are different. The female is longer than male, and the male is shorter and also has a curved tail. So male always have a curved tail like this. There is a terminal anterior mouth and subterminal posterior anus. So alimentary canal is there, complete digestion is there because of the presence of anterior mouth and posterior anus. The life cycle is monogenetic. What is the meaning of monogenetic life cycle? It means it involves only one host. The life cycle of Taenia is digenetic, but the life cycle of Ascaris is monogenetic. And the single host is male. The female Ascaris can produce around 2 lakhs of eggs per day, which are usually passed with the feces. The eggs which are passed into the feces represent the infective stage, but they are infective after 18 days until or infective after 18 days to several weeks, because and specific molting processes are there. There are three rounds of molting which is present in Ascaris. The first molting is on the soil. If the condition is suitable for molting, like moist condition, warm condition, a suitable temperature is required, and after molting, the X is infective. A very important feature of this worm is the larva moves into many organs into the humans and finally matures into the lungs. The larva moves a 21 days journey is there, and within these 21 days this larva moves into various organs like heart, liver, lungs, and finally matures at the and finally matures in the lungs. And through coughing or sometimes through sneezing, it went to the respiratory tract, and by swelling, it again reaches to the intestine. The infection only through fertilized eggs, and it is transmitted by contaminated food or water having the larvae. Now come to the next disease caused by helminth is filariasis, or sometimes it is also known as elephantiasis. In Hindi it is also known as hathi paw disease. There are three groups of filariasis, which is known as lymphatic filariasis, which is the most common type of filariasis, subcutaneous filariasis, and serous cavity filariasis. If we are talking about the causative agent is filarial nematode, which belongs to phylum SK helminthes. There are about 9 known filarial nematodes, in which the most important nematode is Wucheria bancrofti and Brugia malai. These two are mentioned in your book also. So the lymphatic filariasis is caused by the worms Wucheria bancrofti and Brugia malai. One another species, Brugia timori, is also infectious. The life cycle of this worm is digenetic. Again, the meaning of digenetic is it is completed in two hosts. One is the primary host, and the primary host is men, while the intermediate host is again mosquito. Which mosquito? Culex mosquito. The female Culex mosquito is the intermediate host. After fertilization, the egg converted into larvae, and the larvae of filariasis or elephantiasis is known as microfilary larvae, and the microfilary larvae come to the superficial layers like just beneath the skin, and when the female culex mosquito bite a infected human, this larvae passes into the culex mosquito, the alternate or intermediate host, and when this carrier intermediate host or culex mosquito again bite a healthy person, the infectious larvae reaches the healthy person. If we are talking about the symptoms of the disease, the symptoms include blockage of limbs. Because of the blockage of limbs, the limbs do not the limb does not passes into the bloodstream, and due to gravity these are stored or accumulated into the lower body parts, usually like the foots and the sex organs, so that the foot जो पाँव है वो बहुत ही बड़ा दिखने लग जाएगा. इवन द सेक्स ऑर्गन्स, मेल में और फीमेल में, इवन इन इवन द ब्रेस्ट ऑफ फीमेल. और इस वजह से जो पाँव है वो काफ़ी बड़ा हो जाएगा, तभी इसको हम एलिफेंटिएसिस या हाथी पाँव डिजीज भी कहते हैं. द अनदर सिम्टम्स इंक्लूड इन्फ्लेमेशन एंड पेन इन द लिम्फ नोड्स, nausea, vomiting, etc. So this is all about today's lecture. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.